Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Everyday English Unplugged. I'm Jake.
And I'm Nina. Today, we're diving into one of my absolute favorite topics, how to sound polite in English, but with real phrases that native speakers actually use.
Ooh, good one. It's so much more than just saying please and thank you, right?
Exactly. Sometimes I feel like textbooks teach the basics, but then you hear a native speaker and they say, "Would you mind passing the salt?" And you're like, "Wait, what just happened to please?" Jake, why is English politeness so indirect?
I love that you noticed that. English is packed with these little softeners because we tend to avoid sounding bossy or too direct. For example, instead of close the window, we'll say, could you close the window, please? Or even, do you mind if I close the window? It's our way of being gentle. Think of it as wrapping your request in bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap. I love that. So, let's break this down for our listeners. What are some phrases that instantly make you sound more polite, but don't sound stiff or robotic?
Great question. One of my favorites is would you mind? Like, would you mind helping me with this? It's super natural and people use it all the time. Another one is I was wondering if you could send me that report. It's like dipping your toes in before jumping in the pool.
So, it's all about testing the waters. But what about apologies? I hear people say, "Sorry to bother you," or "I'm afraid," even when nothing's actually wrong. What's up with that?
That's the classic English apology before action move. We apologize, even for tiny things, because it softens the impact. Sorry to bother you, but is a way to acknowledge you're interrupting someone, even if it's just for a second. And I'm afraid is used when delivering bad news, like, I'm afraid we're out of chocolate cake. It sounds more polite than just, no more cake.
No more cake? That's always tragic news. So, let's play a game. I'll say a direct phrase, and you make it more polite. Ready?
Ooh, tricky. I see where you're coming from, but I think there might be another way to look at it.
You're on fire, Jake. Okay, now let's talk about intonation. Why does "could you pass the salt" sometimes sound rude if you say it flat?
You nailed it. It's not just about the words, it's how you say them. If your tone is flat or sharp, even the politest phrase can sound like an order. Smile, soften your voice, maybe raise your pitch at the end. It's like when you add seasoning to food, intonation is the flavor.
Love that analogy. Speaking of flavor, what about cultural differences? I know in some countries, being direct is totally normal, but in English, it can come off as rude.
Absolutely. In English, especially in the UK and North America, indirectness is a kind of social glue. It keeps things smooth. But in other cultures, being direct is valued for honesty and efficiency. So if you're learning English, paying attention to these little politeness tricks can help you avoid misunderstandings.
Okay, here's a fun one. What's a phrase that sounds polite but actually means "no way"?
Oh, the classic, I'll let you know, or I'll think about it. 9 times out of 10, it's a gentle way to say, probably not happening.
Ha, so true. Or, "That's interesting," which can mean anything from "that's great" to "I completely disagree, but I'm being polite."
Exactly. English is full of these hidden meanings. But let's shift gears. What about at work? How can you politely disagree with your boss?
Ooh, risky business. Jake, any real phrases for that situation?
For sure. Instead of you're wrong, you could say, I see your point, but have you considered? Or, that's an interesting perspective. May I offer another suggestion? It shows respect while still sharing your idea.
So it's about adding a cushion to your words. What about email? I feel like politeness in writing is a whole other ballgame.
Yes, in email, we tend to use phrases like, I hope this email finds you well, or would you be able to? Also ending with, please let me know if you have any questions, is a classic way to keep things open and friendly.
Can we talk about the word "just"? I notice native speakers use it a lot, like, I'm just checking in, or just wanted to ask, what's the deal?
Just is a minimizer. It makes your request seem smaller and less demanding. Like, I just wanted to see if you had a minute. Sounds way softer than, do you have a minute? But don't overuse it, or your requests might sound weak.
Good to know. Okay, time for a quick story. Jake, have you ever accidentally been rude in another language?
Oh, 100%. I once asked a waiter in France, water, instead of, could I have some water, please? His look could have frozen the ocean. It taught me the importance of those magic words.
That's hilarious. I once told a British friend, give me the pen, and she just handed it over and said, you mean, would you mind passing me the pen? Lesson learned.
It's the little things. All right, should we jump to our audience question?
Yes. This one's from Maria in Brazil. She asks, how do I politely ask someone to speak more slowly without sounding rude?
Great question, Maria. You could say, sorry, would you mind speaking a bit more slowly? Or, I'm sorry, my English isn't perfect. Could you repeat that more slowly, please? Adding a little apology and please works wonders.
That's perfect. Maria, try it out and let us know how it goes. Now, Jake, ready for our favorite segment, language fails.
Oh, yes. So, a friend of mine once tried to ask for a napkin in English, but accidentally said, can I have a mapkin? The waiter was so confused, he thought she wanted a map and a napkin.
That's so good. Or when people say, excuse me, I want the chicken, instead of, I'd like the chicken, please. It's a tiny difference, but it changes everything.
Totally. Politeness is all in the details. And sometimes, a little mistake just makes everyone laugh.
So, let's give our listeners some key takeaway tips. Jake, what are your top 3?
Number 1, use softeners like could you, would you mind, or I was wondering if. Number 2, add please, thank you, and sorry, even for small things. Number 3, pay attention to your tone. A kind voice is just as important as kind words.
Love those. I'll add, practice listening to native speakers and notice the phrases they use. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Most people appreciate the effort.
Couldn't agree more. So, if you want to sound polite in English, it's all about softening your words, smiling with your voice, and being aware of context.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe. We'd love to hear your funniest language fails or questions about politeness. Send them our way.
Absolutely. We'll catch you next time on Everyday English Unplugged. Stay polite, stay curious, and keep practicing.